I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. If I could get a roll call.
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Ms. Vendriano?
Here.
Mr. Rogan?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Williams?
Here. First item on tonight's agenda is a public hearing on the MS4 report. Don, do you have the public hearing notice?
I do.
And you're one step ahead of me.
Okay. First time for everything. Town of Patterson Public Notice. Annual report on the stormwater management program for the town of Patterson. Public notice is hereby given that the town of Patterson has prepared an MS4 annual report for the period ending on March 9, 2019. The annual report has been prepared pursuant to the New York State DEC General Permit for Stormwater Discharges from Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Systems, GPO-10-002, and is available for review at the Patterson, New York website or at the offices of the Planning Department at Patterson Town Hall, P.O. Box 470, 1142, Route 311, Patterson, New York. Comments on the annual report will be received by the Planning Department at the above-mentioned address or by email at planning@pattersonny.org until Friday, May 21, 2019. Richard D. Williams, Sr., Supervisor, Town of Patterson.
I would ask that anybody who wishes to make comment on the MS4 annual report or ask any questions, if you would approach the mic and...
I have one question. Has anyone sent in any comments?
No.
No. Has anyone, maybe two questions.
Bruce has one, though.
Has anyone sent in any comments in the last 10 years?
Yes,
Oh, good.
but probably not in the last 5.
Okay.
Anyone?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Somebody like to make a motion on the reports?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the code compliance for April, code enforcement for April, dog control officer for April, and the Patterson Recreation. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Somebody like to make a motion on the supervisor's report?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the supervisor's report for March. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You two gonna let them just keep doing? Okay, can I get a motion on the minutes?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the public hearing minutes of the local law I-1 zoning amendment for 185 Fairfield Drive, which is the Zegarelli site, and the town board meeting minutes of April 10th and April 24th, 2019. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, am I doing the, you doing
Audit
both
of the bills?
No, I'll do it. I'll give you a break. I'll move the town board approve abstract number 8, dated April 26, 2019, the amount of $1,122,072.76. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would somebody like to do some budget transfers?
I guess I'm doing budget transfers. I'd like to make a motion to approve budget adjustment request number 9 for the court equipment and contractual accounts. We'd like to increase the state aid justice court grant $5,989 and increase the justice equipment and capital outlay $5,939 and justice contractual $50. And I think you said that backwards. We were taking it from here and moving it to here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So we removed $5,989 from the revenue account and we placed it into justice's equipment and capital overlay. $5,939 and $50 of that is going to justice's contractual. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Also like to make a motion to approve budget transfer request number 10 for the sidewalk snow removal contract. We're taking it from the contingency account, $1,825, and it is getting moved into the sidewalk snow removal contractual. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'd also like to make a motion to approve budget adjustment request number 11. Could I have done all these three together?
You could
Oh,
have, but
okay.
it's okay.
Okay, next time. Adjustment request number 11 for the LED conversion of streetlights capital project. We would be taking the money from, the fund balance account, $16,611, and increasing the Putnam streetlights LED conversion, $8,586. And so I guess you got the numbers, so two numbers, it's a little different for me, $8,025. Did I do that right?
Yeah, so,
Okay, so moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Before we move on, the first budget transfer was to transfer funds that we'd received from a justice court grant from the revenue line into the judge's budget. Part of that grant was the purchase of a new server. I don't have the number in front of me. I have repeatedly asked. I have the amount of the grant. I don't have the amount of the actual server. But being as that server was not actually in the judge's approved budget this year, we need to actually approve the purchase of that server. I have so notified the judges. I was hoping we received a request to have the server approved, but none is forthcoming again. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase of a server as part of the Justice Court grant for the Justice Court. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just as a matter of housekeeping. So, all right, first item on my agenda is a letter we received from Paul Yankee, Putnam County Legislature, requesting that the town consider a false alarm penalty fee within our code. I've provided the board with Mr. Yankee's letter. I've also provided them with a copy of our alarm code, which I believe adequately addresses Mr. Yankee's concerns. We've had a section of our code which addresses alarms and false alarms since 2001. So I will open it up for discussion.
Well, my take is that we leave our false alarm fine schedule as it is in the code. I see no reason to change it.
You think it adequately addresses everything
I do.
and all of Mr. Yankee's concerns?
Well, his concerns were the same concerns that I would think led to this code, our code, so, you know,
Anyone else?
I would assume that Mr. Yankee is looking at this
Countywide.
countywide, right? And
Yes.
so he probably didn't read every town's code in reference to false alarms. And so in this case, I'm sure he'll be thrilled to know that our code already references it. So I agree that it's the intent of what he's trying to do more so than the fine amounts. I don't think he's really that concerned with what our fine amounts are, but reducing the number of false alarms. So I think I agree with Charles.
I would respond back saying, attaching our code, saying
Perfect.
we have no reason to change our code schedule.
How often do we have we fined anyone?
Very good question. In Mr. McCarthy's tenure with the town, he has not yet responded to a single false alarm.
Okay.
I do remember back in the late 90s, early 2000s, we did have a rash of false alarms from one particular building that was resolved. But on a whole, we don't get a lot of false alarms.
No,
Actually,
that-
we get none.
There was that time that a particular town board member sitting immediately to your left tripped the alarm twice in the town hall, right? Because my pass code didn't work very well.
That
was
well,
twice.
listen,
It works now.
I've been out a number of different
Yeah, that was
occasions,
5 or 6 years
but
ago.
yeah. That I wouldn't classify as a false alarm.
Well, if
That
I,
was a security
So
alarm.
this is really, though, different, though. Our fine schedule here is for Mr. McCarthy to show up, but theirs is for the emergency response team from the county.
Yeah.
Our penalty is for somebody who demonstrates a chronic problem with having alarms that are going off that are not actually triggered by any event.
if a deputy, a sheriff's deputy or a state police trooper responds to an alarm, do they check, do they have any way of checking if it's the first false alarm, second false alarm?
They would have to notify the town.
So is there any procedure where when they respond to an alarm, is there any procedure to report it to us that they responded to that alarm?
I don't have an answer for you. I would have to contact the sheriff to see what their procedure is. Unless you would like to take care of that for me, being on the safety board.
It's traffic safety.
I'm sorry, traffic safety board.
Yeah, because
I'll be happy to contact the sheriff.
because right now it's only if there's, I mean, how do we even know? There's even one alarm.
We will be notified by the fire departments.
Is this just fire or is this burglar?
No, it's false alarms in
Yeah.
general.
So if there's burglar alarms, I mean, and that's what I would think too, is especially the county's concern is if there's a burglar alarm, they're responding. Then they have we have resources responding to it.
Sure.
And that's one of the reasons, if someone has a chronic issue where there's an alarm going off.
Well, I'll reach out to the sheriff and
Yeah,
I'll,
you know what else I would like to see is that, they're stating that that these are such a problem. I'd like to see a spreadsheet on how many and how often that they're responding to false alarms and if they're repeated addresses.
In other words, what was the driving force behind them
Yeah,
wanting it
yeah,
to be countywide?
yeah.
One comment on it is this not intended to generate fines that would be payable to the county? I think this, is it?
we have no ability to generate fines for the
Yeah,
county.
I was just reading it that they were looking for the support of the towns to, if they were putting this policy into place, so that the town's penalties, and the town's code would be distinct from what Paul's proposing.
Right.
So,
So this would be a payment, I guess, looking for a consensus from the towns that they don't have a problem with the county instituting this policy for the county to be reimbursed.
That's not what I take away from this letter. What I take away from this letter is he's asking us,
Right.
in order to ensure uniformity and support to address this problem throughout the county by each town and village.
Is it
That they
payable
institute the
to
following.
the town or village?
It doesn't specify that. It simply says we want you to consider adopting a false alarm penalty fee policy so that we can cut down on these occurrences.
Right.
Right? That's the way I read it also.
Yeah.
But then also too, so if someone has a chronic burglar alarm going off and, it went off for the fourth time, and then we charge them or we fine them, then, we're not getting, we don't even know the alarm's going off because we don't have, our agencies aren't responding. The county is, or the state. So then we get the fine money. So that kind of defeats the whole purpose of reimbursing any kind of resources or.
Well, and I think you're
But it
making a
deters
valid
the-
point, but it's not, I think the impetus of this is to simply cut down on false alarms, not worrying about, the fine is to get the people to not have so many false alarms, not to reimburse for the response. I think that's probably,
Yeah, I would agree
more
with
of
that.
the impetus.
There's also other things too, is, they have an alarm association and they find ways to, because alarm companies don't want
Sure.
their customers, so they actually have all kinds of tips and kinds of things, the alarm system should be inspected every 5 years, because if you have an old alarm system, that's when the old sensors tend to, go off and stuff like that. So there's a lot of other avenues too that you do to cut back on the false alarms too, that the county might want to look into as well.
Okay. Great. All right. Moving on. So this past year, we purchase some new software for our receiver of taxes, Mary Delanoy, and I understand it's been working very, very well for her. But we had discussed at that time, as we have done in the past, that a portion of that is attributable to her work in collecting the taxes for both Brewster and Carmel schools. And as such, as we've done in the past, they should be paying a portion of that. And I would like to try to develop an intermunicipal agreement to ensure that we're going to be compensated for that. I prepared an agreement based on something that was done in the town of Southeast, provided it to our town attorney, and I just wanted to gauge everybody's opinion about, whether you're comfortable with moving forward with this, or you have any questions on it, or changes that you see might be appropriate. Thoughts?
Sounds good.
The school districts don't know that this is coming, right? Or have you had reached out?
The school districts have been compensating the town, I believe. Actually, they haven't been compensating the town. Here's where the change is. So in the past, they were being billed directly by the software company. Now that we've changed software companies, the new software company is no longer willing to bill the schools directly. They are going to bill the town for the total amount of updates, upgrades, upkeep, and download of the RPS data files.
Do you envision the percentages based on what was previously done changing?
Not significantly.
Okay, great.
So they're already budgeting for it. They don't know it's coming from the town,
But they've been paying it anyway.
but they've been
so-
paying it anyway, so it's all in their budget.
Great.
If it passes in a couple weeks.
What was that?
If their budget passes in a couple weeks.
Even if it doesn't,
Yeah.
Contingency.
we still have to collect taxes. Mary, do you want to add anything? Okay. All right, so everybody is okay with me sending this to the schools and
Yeah.
Yes.
subject to the town attorney reviewing it?
Thank you.
All right. Not today. Is Jamie back? Jamie's back, I take it. Okay. All right. Last one. Last on my agenda is a conservation easement between,
Don't we have to approve each one?
not at this time.
They're not ready.
Okay.
I will bring it back to the board when Brewster Schools has commented on it. We have a final agreement, and we're ready to adopt it.
Okay.
You were just looking for a direction to move forward.
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody's comfortable with the direction we're going.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
Okay, as I was saying, there is a subdivision that is currently before the planning board, and they have negotiated out a conservation easement as part of that subdivision to ensure the integrity of some open space that's been proposed for the lots. The town attorney has been working diligently with the applicant on getting a conservation easement prepared between Jack and Jill Carell and the town of Patterson, which we have in front of us. Anybody have any comments or questions on this?
Do you know what the acreage, would you have a guesstimation of what the total acreage is of the conservation
I
easement?
do not. I do not. 12.6, 12.6, maybe 8, 9 acres, best guess.
That's not a big subdivision, it's just.
No, it's not, it's a
Yeah,
two-lot
two-lot,
subdivision
right.
on Cushman Road.
Okay.
We also have a recommendation here from the planning board concerning the conservation easement, that they're recommending we adopt it. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce this resolution authorizing the super to execute the conservation easement agreement between Jack and Jill Carell and the town of Patterson, and ask that it be entered into these minutes as though read. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Mary, you're up.
The first item on my agenda is the lifeguard policy, 2019 lifeguard policy. The town of Patterson operates the beaches at Veterans Memorial Park District and the Putnam Lake Park District. For the best interest in the operation of these beaches, we'd like to have a policy for the lifeguards which encourages the new lifeguards and retains experienced lifeguards to remain with the town. So the town board and the town of Patterson hereby would like to adopt this policy and present it to the town board as read. So moved.
Second. With some editorial changes,
With some editorial changes, yes.
Minor edits is all.
Yeah.
which has been presented to me tonight.
Yes.
Discussion? Anyone?
No, I mean, the
Just the
essence of the
changes.
policy is what we've discussed, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
The second item on my agenda is for Club Court Park. Looks like they want to purchase a tic-tac-toe oh, there it is.
We were looking,
Yeah,
so
we were
we
looking
couldn't
all
find that
over this
email.
picture. That's cute.
Yeah.
Give me a second to admire it. Oh, and these must be the nets.
Those are the
Okay.
nets. You see the tic-tac-toe and how broken
Yep.
up they are?
Mm-hmm. So that's the only portion of that that needs to be,
Everything else is in pretty good shape. We have new borders in all the way around. They're looking fairly good. We got the mulch in today. And some of the signage out there was a little bit faded, so Dennis has got that out being rehabbed, and we should get that installed very shortly. And then we have a couple of pieces of equipment that we're dealing with right now, and hopefully it will look much, much better than it did last year.
Good.
so we'll be in by Memorial Day?
They should be. Well, I can't guarantee this equipment's gonna be in by Memorial Day, but it should be close.
But the borders and everything else is all,
Borders, mulch, the porta potty is there, everything is up and operational.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to approve the purchase of the carton cargo nets, the tic-tac-toe panel, and the net assembly cargo, which is a 5-foot deck, in the amount of $2,040.60. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
And by way of information, we have one price on this because these are all proprietary pieces of equipment, and there is nobody else that can actually do anything with these. Peter?
All right, first I have lifeguard new hires. So we received a recommendation from Brian Callahan from the Park District and, to hire 2 new lifeguards, Harrison Salisbury and Kaylee Kessman. I'd like to make a motion to approve those 2 upon completion of all background checks and the appropriate salaries for their positions. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Discussion? We don't have
Sorry.
any salaries information?
We don't, as per the budget.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the positions are in the budget.
Good catch.
All right, next I have EMS new hire. So we had a nice interview with a young lady, Andrea Briggs, last week, or 2 weeks ago. Who was it? Oh, Charlie was with me, yeah. And Denise Montana. Great addition, make a great addition to our EMS service here. So I'd like to make a motion to approve and to hire Andrea Briggs as an EMT for the amount of $15 per hour, pending all her background checks and all. So
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
that's all I have.
Okay. Next, we have the Putnam Lake Park Advisory Board has requested the approval to install a 14 by 24 pavilion for Warren Beach. Pricing has been solicited from 3 local companies that provide pavilions. Pricing was also solicited from 2 carpentry contractors for construction of the pavilion. Both contractors opted not to submit a price. So the pricing from the 3 companies was as follows. Best in Backyards, $15,826. Bay Horse LLC, $16,572.32. And the Shed House, $17,218. So we have a recommendation from the supervisor to accept the price from Best in Backyards in the amount of $15,826, and I'll make a motion that we approve that amount for the Warren Beach Shade Shelter. So moved.
Second?
All in favor? You're doing it by the resolution, right? That resolution, yes.
Ah, Yep, yes. Next, we have conference request from our receiver of taxes for the annual Association of Tax Receivers conference and educational programs. So I will make a motion that the town board approve the conference request from our tax receiver in an amount not to exceed $1,000. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye. That's it.
Sean, you're up.
Alrighty. So we've been discussing electronic waste at these town board meetings, it seems like all year, right? But
Yeah.
we've been patiently waiting, hoping that we would have a shared service agreement with the county and some, some reduced costs that would be part of that. Unfortunately, those discussions have kind of gone south, so to speak. And Rich, you were at a meeting 2 weeks ago, right?
2 weeks ago.
Friday the 26th. And that we had mentioned last meeting would be when we would, I think, have a direction, a way that we would proceed with this. At this time, it looks like each town is going to do their own thing. And we have a contractor who is offering a fairly reasonable price for the town for pickup of electronic waste. And so I will recommend, because we do need to move forward with this, Russ, I know you're antsy on this one, so thanks for holding in there. Recommend hiring New Tech Recycling for disposal of e-waste at a price of 36 cents per pound for disposed waste. And I'd like to make that motion subject to New Tech being licensed by Putnam County as a solid waste permitted hauler. That's something that I'm not 100% sure that they currently have, but would need to be done prior to obviously doing business in Putnam County. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the second item actually is just the annual financial report document for the town of Patterson for the fiscal year ending 12/31/2018. This is a nice snapshot of the fiscal expenditures and revenues of the town, and this is simply submitted to the New York State Comptroller annually. So I'd just like to note that this document has been prepared and submitted as is done every year. So just really a note on that.
Okay, other business, and we do have a few items that have come in the last couple of days. Anybody want to pick one?
Yeah, I'll pick the fire department. Please, this is from Patterson Fire Department. Number 1, Inc. From Joe Nickershire, Chief of the Department. Please add the following Patterson Fire Department, number 1, members to the list of special teams participants for insurance purposes. Joseph Nickershire, Westchester County Technical Rescue Team, Andrew Aiken, John Barretto, Barretto, sorry, Randall Mulkins, Sean Terwilliger, to the Putnam County Technical Resource Team.
Rescue.
Rescue Team.
We'll get there.
All right, and please remove the following members from the list of the special teams: Matthew Spinsdorf and Joseph Pignatelli. So I'll put that all into a motion that the town board approve these changes. So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have from the Putnam Lake Fire Department. Please be advised that the following persons have been accepted as members of the Putnam Lake Fire Department: Michael Lyons Brewster, Julio how do you say that? Reynoso, and Renee Reynoso, both of Brewster. So I'll make a motion that the town board approve these members to the Putnam Lake Fire Department. So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a point of clarification, the last two individuals have a Brewster mailing address. They actually live in the Putnam Lake area in the town of Patterson. So, it's not like we're stealing from Brewster.
Nothing wrong with that.
You want me to read this one?
You don't, I would just acknowledge that we received the Patterson Fire Department. Go ahead.
You did.
Gotta stop.
I want to do this one.
Go ahead.
Wait,
You're on a roll.
wait. All right, so let's back up. We'd like to acknowledge that we've received the
Oh.
Patterson Fire
Oh,
Department
I'm
number
sorry, I thought you
one's
said
quarterly
you just
report.
acknowledged it. Oh, okay.
Here, do that. We'll get it together.
Can we
I missed
approve it
you
like the
guys.
other reports, or?
We don't.
Okay, so this is the invoice for the league fee for the State Line Swim League 2019. The amount due is $150. Is this a request for payment? Or I'm approving that we make the payment of $150?
Yeah, we have to
That's-
authorize.
Okay, so we'll authorize the amount
Application.
of $150 for the application to participate in the State Line Swim League for 2019. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody want to do smoke alarms?
I'll take the Red Cross. American Red Cross Home Fire Preparedness Campaign. Call the Home Fire Preparedness Hotline at 845-673-1198. The Red Cross will install free smoke alarms in your home and provide a home fire safety education. So that's a good free service from the American Red Cross. It's a big campaign they've been doing for a couple of years now. Make sure everybody has fire alarms in their homes.
That's great. Are we already up to planning for 4-H?
4-H.
This is our favorite time of year.
Charlie? You said you wanted to?
Oh,
All right, Sean,
Let
you're
Sean
on.
I feel like over the years, we've paid for different showmanship trophies. We've done swine, we've done sheep, we've done cattle. And I believe that's the award that we usually sponsor, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, so this year I'd like to make a motion that we sponsor the showmanship trophy, $50 for the dog competition. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
Okay.
I would have gone with youth leader, but.
Sorry?
Any town board member have any other business you wish to bring up at this time? All right, public recognition. Any member of the public wish to be recognized at this time? Oh, this is going to be too easy. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming.